After successfully solving their first case together, Nick and his wife Audrey were working as private detectives. Unfortunately, the kind of clients they were getting were very mediocre and lousy, and their career did not turn out to be as exciting or paying as they had wanted it to be. Audrey was pushing Nick to take this course for detectives, written by Connor Miller. This way they could get certified and possibly land better clients. They got a call from their friend Vikram, who invited them to his wedding. Nick and Audrey were flown in on a private helicopter, at the island where Vikram was having his lavish wedding. They met their friend and his fiancée Claudette, who was very welcoming towards them. Colonel, from their first case, was also on the island. He was now serving Vikram as his bodyguard. Nick and Audrey got to their rooms and were absolutely blown away by the luxury. Their room had gifts for guests and an amazing view. They got ready for Vikram's wedding event. Both looked beautiful in Indian attire. Audrey wore a traditional lehenga while Nick wore a sherwani. They loved the event and greeted everyone in their way. Here, the couple met Vikram's other friends, including Francesco Perez, who immediately started hitting on Audrey. He was the chairman of the board of directors in Vikram's company. Audrey met Countess and her assistant as well. She also met Vikram's sister, who took a liking to Audrey, and they chatted for a bit. Vikram and Claudette had decided to do dance number entrances. After Claudette's dance number, it was Vikram's turn. But instead of Vikram, it was his second bodyguard who made the entrance. He fell down dead. Nick ran out and saw some guys taking Vikram away. Him and Audrey decided to question and interrogate all the people related to Vikram, but it was of no use as they all blamed each other. The next day, Connor Miller, who was an MI6 hostage negotiator, and his team was hired to bring back Vikram and catch the culprits. Connor dismissed Nick and Audrey as he did not think of them as professionals. They received a call from the kidnappers, who asked for $70 million in return for the Maharaja, aka Vikram. Nick and Audrey were given the money to make the exchange. Connor took them to Paris where the exchange was set up. When they located the van, they refused to give the money unless they saw Vikram. The kidnappers retaliated and demanded the money first. This led to a fight sequence inside the van while it was driving in the streets of Paris. It landed in a cafe where both of them came out. Connor found them and took the case full of bag. As soon as he got into the car, it blew up. Someone came by and went into the fire to get the suitcase out. They were hit by a truck and the truck driver got the suitcase last. Audrey and Nick realized that Connor was behind the kidnapping. Only one person could help them now, Inspector Delacroix. They met him at the theater. He ran the number plate of the van and gave them the location. It was a huge mansion owned by the Countess Siku. Her assistant Imoni captured them and tied them. Siku was not the kidnapper, she was only interested in the money. She knew Nick and Audrey were amateurs and so it would be easy to take money from them. The Countess shot her assistant and set the mansion on fire. Before she could run away, she was shot by Imani. Nick and Audrey had to find a way out before they burned with the mansion. They used Nick's dental floss business cards to cut the rope. After escaping, Nick called the inspector and asked him to gather everyone and meet them at Jules Verne restaurant. While they were talking, the elevator opened and Vikram arrived with a bomb vest tied to him. He said that the bomb would blow up if they did not hand the money over. Nick deduced that the kidnappers would never kill Vikram or blow up the restaurant if they really wanted the money, so they waited anxiously for the countdown to finish. He was right. Suddenly, Connor made an entrance. He exposed himself as the kidnapper. Connor had himself blown up the car to eliminate himself as a suspect, while he hid in the titanium chamber. His plan was hijacked by Imani and the Countess. It was revealed that Connor was the kidnapper. Now, he had to kill all of them to get away. He activated the bomb vest and got out of there. Audrey jumped and hung onto him while he went up the Eiffel Tower. Nick followed them while the others tried to get the bomb off Vikram. Perez had followed Nick and helped him fight Connor's men. Audrey, who was still hanging off the tower, managed to get on the structure. They dropped Connor on the helicopter that was aiming a machine gun at the rest of them, sending it flying in the water. They got back to the restaurant where Audrey noticed that Vikram's sister's henna was smudged. She had found stains on the cloth that was burned and was now sure that it was henna and not blood. They figured out that it was her who had ordered the kidnapping of her brother. She was angry that he had inherited the family business and all the money, despite her being the smart one. She had also previously planned a hit on Vikram in Mumbai, but he was saved by the colonel, who took the bullet and lost his arm. She pulled out a gun and shot her brother. Colonel jumped and took the hit instead of Vikram, and she was arrested. Later, Nick and Audrey were on a bridge where they had decided to renew their wedding vows. There they met the helicopter pilot who handed them a bag full of money. It was a thank you gift by Vikram. They were on their way to a resort when the same guy pointed a gun at them and took the money from them, leaving them mid-air. Perhaps there will be a third movie about their continued adventure. This is how the latest movie Murder Mystery 2, starring Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler ends.